My name is Mercedes, and I'm 28 years old. 10 months into what I thought was a serious relationship, my boyfriend looked directly at me after I discovered he had been sleeping with his ex-girlfriend and said, "I don't owe you honesty. We're just dating." That sentence ended everything. His name was Adrian. We met through mutual friends. I was a software engineer. Nothing glamorous, but stable income, decent benefits, and a career I actually liked. Adrian worked in marketing and had the kind of personality that made strangers feel like old friends within minutes. He was funny, confident, magnetic. I fell harder than I should have. Adrian liked joking that he didn't catch feelings, but those jokes became harder to believe when he was asleep against my shoulder wearing one of my sweatshirts. By month 4, he had keys to my apartment. His toothbrush sat beside mine. Half my dresser somehow became his. I picked him up from work when his car broke down, helped him study for a brutal analytics certification, bought groceries when his rent stretched his paycheck too thin. Once, I even gave him my car for an entire weekend so he could visit a friend out of state. I thought we were building something. Adrian never said, "I love you." I never pressured him. People move at different speeds, right? Then the phone behavior changed. He started smiling at messages he wouldn't explain, turning the screen slightly away, taking his phone into rooms where he had always left it lying around before. I told myself not to become suspicious. Trust was supposed to mean something. Then came Thursday night. Adrian arrived exhausted and said he wanted to sleep early. He tossed his bag onto the floor, plugged his phone into my charger, and fell asleep within minutes. I stayed awake finishing work. When I finally climbed into bed, his phone lit up beside mine. I didn't touch it. I didn't need to. The notification preview was right there. "Danielle, next time, don't hold back. You've still got my hoodie. By the way, Danielle." His ex-girlfriend. My chest went completely still. The next morning, while Adrian brushed his teeth, I picked up the phone. I'm not proud of it. But what I found confirmed everything. Dozens of messages, inside jokes, photos, plans to meet. Messages about missing what they used to have. They had started talking again. Then coffee. Then drinks. Then something neither of them bothered hiding very well. I placed the phone face up on the bed. Adrian walked in and immediately saw it. "Why are you going through my phone?" No panic. No shame. Just irritation. Your screen lit up. "Who's Danielle?" He stared at me. "Are we seriously doing this?" "You told me you stopped talking to her." "Mercedes, don't be dramatic." "You slept with her." He rolled his eyes, walked back toward the bathroom, rinsed his mouth, then returned like we were discussing groceries. "Look, I don't owe you honesty. We're just dating." I stared at him. 10 months. You practically live here. "We're not married. Stop acting like I signed a contract." Something inside me went cold. Not rage. Clarity. I picked up his bag and placed it beside the front door. "You should leave." His eyebrows lifted. "Seriously?" "Yes." "You're throwing all this away over some messages?" "No." I opened the door. "You already did." Adrian grabbed his things and left without apologizing. I blocked his number before the elevator reached the lobby. No dramatic final speech, no begging, no request for closure. Because he had already given me closure in one sentence. "I don't owe you honesty." And maybe he was right. He didn't owe me honesty. But from that morning forward, I didn't owe him access to me either. The strangest part after Adrian left wasn't the anger. It was the silence. For the first few days, I kept expecting my phone to light up with some dramatic apology or a paragraph explaining why Danielle didn't mean anything. Nothing came. So I deleted our photos, removed him from my favorites, changed the code to my apartment. Then I started filling the empty space he had left behind. My sister, Maya, came over one night carrying homemade dumplings. She didn't ask questions immediately. Eventually, she looked around the apartment and said, "So Adrian's really gone?" "Yeah." "You okay?" "Not really." I took a breath. "But I will be." I wasn't sure I believed it yet. Still, I acted like I did. I went back to the gym, picked up a freelance software project, started seeing friends I had slowly drifted away from because I was always available for Adrian whenever he needed something. Then I booked a short solo trip to the mountains. No boyfriend to schedule around. No one complaining that the hotel wasn't impressive enough. Just me, a paperback, bad Wi-Fi, and overpriced hot chocolate. Somewhere in all that quiet, I realized Adrian hadn't betrayed me once. He had done it in dozens of small ways before Danielle ever appeared on his lock screen. The airport pickups he never thanked me for, the conversations where he interrupted me halfway through because his story mattered more. The way he claimed Danielle meant nothing while still following her playlists and liking every new photo she posted. I wasn't only angry with him, I was angry with myself for accepting those things as normal. Then 5 months passed. No contact. By then, I assumed Adrian had simply moved on. One evening, a mutual acquaintance named Kara sent me a DM. Random question. Are you still talking to Adrian? I replied, no. Why? Her next message was almost unbelievable. Adrian was about to become a father, not with Danielle. Danielle had continued seeing him after our breakup, then ghosted him 3 weeks later. After that, Adrian reconnected with another woman he used to flirt with, Nicole, someone he had always insisted was just a friend. That fizzled too. Then came a one-night hookup with a woman named Rachel. She got pregnant. According to Kara, Rachel had already made it clear she didn't want a relationship with Adrian and planned to leave most of the parenting responsibility to him once the baby was born. Adrian had also lost his marketing job after repeated absences. Now he was back living with his parents, working part-time, trying to prepare for a child he hadn't planned for. Kara ended with, honestly, he's not doing well. I stared at the message. I expected satisfaction. I felt almost nothing. Curiosity got the better of me once. I checked Adrian's social media. Most of the old flashy posts were gone. There were vague quotes about growth, survival, and learning who your real people were. Then he messaged me. Hey Mercedes, hope you're doing okay. I left it unread. 2 days later. I've been thinking about you. I know I messed up. Could we talk sometime? Nothing. The following week, he left a voicemail. His voice sounded exhausted. Mercedes, it's me. I'm sorry. I thought I knew what I wanted, but I didn't. I wasn't fair to you. I get that now. He paused. I could really use someone who understands me. There it was. Not I want to make amends. Not I hurt you. He needed someone. I still represented safety. So I didn't call. Then came the long Instagram message. He said I had always made him feel secure, that he missed how dependable I was, that losing me had taught him what mattered. I left it on scene. Hours later. So you're seriously not even going to acknowledge me? A few nights after that, another voicemail. I'm scared, Mercedes. I don't know how I'm going to do this alone. I listened once. Deleted it. Then, one of Adrian's friends, Jason, messaged me. I don't want to get involved, but he's going through a lot. Maybe hear him out. I replied with the only explanation I intended to give anyone. He went through me first. Jason never contacted me again. A few days later, Adrian sent one final message. This one had no apology left in it. You know what? You're not better than me. You act calm and mature, but you're just emotionally unavailable. I thought maybe you were different. Clearly I was wrong. Don't worry, you won't hear from me again. I stared at the screen, then smiled faintly, because there was the truth. Adrian didn't miss me. He missed the woman who used to make chaos easier for him, and that woman didn't exist anymore. A month after Adrian's last angry message, I ran into him by accident. It happened at a mutual friend's engagement party. I almost didn't go, because I knew there was a chance he might be there. But the bride-to-be was someone I had known for years, and I refused to start reorganizing my life around avoiding him. By then, I had been seeing someone new for a few months. His name was Lucas. We met through friends after one of my weekend hiking trips. He was funny without performing for attention, dependable without making a speech about it, and refreshingly direct. If he said he would call, he called. If he was busy, he said so. No disappearing acts, no emotional puzzles, no ex-girlfriends hovering in the background disguised as just friends. The engagement party was already crowded when Lucas and I arrived. I was talking with him near the drink table when I noticed Adrian across the room. He looked different, thinner, tired. The confidence that had once made him seem untouchable was gone. When he saw me beside Lucas, he froze. Lucas noticed. "You okay?" "Yeah." I looked away. Just someone I used to know. For most of the evening, Adrian kept his distance. Then Lucas went to the restroom. That was when Adrian approached. "Mercedes." I turned. "Hi." He gave me a nervous smile. "You look good." "Thanks." His eyes moved toward the hallway where Lucas had disappeared. "That your boyfriend?" "Yes." The word came easily. Adrian nodded too quickly. "That's good. I'm happy for you." I said nothing. He shifted his weight. "I meant what I said in those messages." "Which part?" His face tightened slightly. "The apology." I waited. "I really did miss you." "I know." His expression softened, almost hopeful. Then I continued. "But you didn't miss me." He frowned. "That's not fair. You missed what I was willing to give you." He looked down. "Mercedes, I was in a bad place." "You were in a bad place when you cheated?" "That's not what I meant." "You were in a bad place when you told me you didn't owe me honesty?" His jaw tightened. "That sentence has haunted me." "Good." He looked surprised. "Not because I sounded angry. Because I didn't." "You told me we were just dating," I said. "You said you didn't owe me honesty." "I know. And maybe you were right." He stared at me. "But now I don't owe you closure. I don't owe you comfort. And I definitely don't owe you a place in my life because everything else fell apart." His composure cracked. "You're not even going to try to understand what I was going through?" "No." He flinched. "Back then, you made it very clear that understanding me wasn't important enough to stop you from hurting me." "That's cruel." "No, it's honest." For a second, neither of us spoke. Then Adrian asked quietly, "Do you hate me?" That question surprised me. I thought about it. "No." His eyes lifted. "I just don't think about you anymore." That hurt him more than anger would have. I could see it. The regret. The disbelief. The realization that he no longer had enough power over me to even be hated. Lucas returned carrying 2 glasses. He slowed when he saw us. "Everything okay?" I took 1 glass from him. "Yeah." Then I looked at Adrian one final time. "Take care of yourself." I walked away. Lucas didn't interrogate me. He didn't ask whether Adrian still had feelings for me. He simply squeezed my hand and said, "Want some air?" We stepped onto the patio. Behind us, the party continued. Music. Laughter. People celebrating something new. Adrian left not long afterward. Months later, I heard he had become a father. The baby's mother stayed mostly out of the picture, so Adrian ended up carrying far more responsibility than he had expected. He eventually moved to another city, deleted most of his social media. Our mutual friends stopped mentioning him. I never reached out. Not because I wanted him to suffer. Because his life was no longer mine to manage. That was the biggest lesson he gave me. Some people only understand your value when they lose access to what you provided. They call it love when you make their lives easier. Then call you cold when you finally choose yourself. Adrian once told me he didn't owe me honesty. Maybe he didn't. But that sentence taught me something more valuable. I didn't owe unlimited forgiveness to someone who treated my loyalty like a convenience. I didn't owe him rescue because his choices became painful. And I didn't owe him another chance simply because chaos finally taught him what stability was worth. I chose silence. Then I chose myself. And eventually, I chose someone who never made me question whether honesty was part of the deal.